What up, young people? What up, old people? It's your boy Jimmy Smooth. This is Hey Young World. I got my man.
See, and I feel like you just pointing at me. Nobody can see that, so it look like you don't know my name.
You can see it. I want you to introduce yourself.
The hesitation was crazy. It's Giant Jet. I feel like he did.
I ain't forgot your name, man. Nah, it's been so long, man. I did forget your name, man. You know, we haven't done this in a minute. Quitty is not in the building, you know what I mean? But, you know, we're going to rap for her, in spite of her after. You know what I mean?
Wherever you are.
We got my man Crisis in the building, playing the engineer.
I only can talk when I raise my hand, so.
Hey, man, look, man. You got about 10 different podcasts. You get your time, nigga. Hey, well, yo, rolling into the show, man. We got a special guest. We got Greg Torre in the building. For you guys that have never heard of him, he was on a Viceland TV show called Abandoned. And what this TV show did was, it basically went all across the country, all across America, and went into different places that used to be popping at one point in time, and these places have been deserted and they're no longer what they once were. So, you're from Akron.
That's right.
You got the opportunity to go inside of Rolling Acres Mall, and do a project on it, basically. And Viceland, you know, reached out to you, and it turned into a big deal, right?
Oh yeah, it did.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, the first question that I would have for you is, what type of connection do you have with that mall to even made you want to do that? You know what I mean? You had to have had some type of connection that made you say, hey, I want to go in here and see what the fuck is going on. Like, what made you do that?
Well, I grew up on the west side of Akron.
So, all right.
Good for you.
So,
that's
obviously,
what's up. Like, that's some stuff. I want to high five you right now.
Everybody go ahead.
That's what's up.
Everybody in here did. Okay.
I
All
grew up
right.
on the west side of Akron.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're out there in the hood, basically.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
I didn't care.
Right.
That's how I got my street smarts, was living
Okay.
out there.
Right.
And you know, naturally, you're gonna go to Rolling Acres.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna skip number one. You're gonna skip school and go to Rolling Acres. That's what we did.
Right.
And a lot of my childhood, though, in seriousness, was going there. That's all my brothers and sisters would go, and I would tag along. They took me along. My mom took me there. We were always there. We'd watch movies there, everything.
Okay.
I remember the fountain once, you know, it was going. You know, you could drop your coins in there.
Yeah.
During Christmas, Santa Claus would sit up there, have the whole Santa land out.
Yeah. He bringing back memories, right?
And
Yeah.
once it closed, there was this whole aura about the place. Like, there was legend going around, like, there could be homeless guys in there. There could be a killer in there. A lot of people were thinking they were going to get murdered if they went in there.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't think so. I'd like to check this out.
Okay.
And that's what made me want to go in there.
That was the funniest sentence ever. Maybe you'll get murdered in there. You know what?
He was the guy that wanted to test the waters a little bit.
I don't think so, but I'm gonna go see.
So what year did you really start working on this project that came to life on Viceland? I mean, when did it happen the first time that you went in there, or was it after a period of time of going in there that you decided, hey, I want to do a project on the mall?
I started in late 09 is when I started.
Okay.
At first, it was just a roll around the property with a buddy, and we got stopped by the cops.
Okay. All right.
They searched my whole truck for a good hour.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, oh, you're trying to break into businesses around here. I'm like, what business is?
What were they looking for, just out of curiosity? Did they ever tell you? Yeah, were they looking for? Yeah,
They were looking for somebody breaking in.
Okay.
And they couldn't find it. I had this beat up pickup truck.
Okay.
And all I had was a toolbox in the back with a tire iron in it for, you know, and this cop dug through my toolbox, okay, just to find that and go, oh, what's this? I go, a tire iron?
So he was looking to see if you had any tools that could be used to break into them. Okay. All right. But yeah, keep going. So you said the first time you and your buddy, y'all got pulled over by the cops?
Yep, in the parking lot. And
okay.
So from that moment on, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this legally. I'm gonna go about this the legal route, and because a year later in 2010 is when I really got into it.
Okay.
And there were people here and there, just scattered, just handfuls of people. Probably 5 people were going in there, and then there was a whole bunch of teenagers wanting to break in, and I'm like, that doesn't seem safe.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do a video, a walkthrough, so people can watch from their home, so they don't have to break in, and they don't have to risk their own bodily harm going in there. And I figured, if I do a walkthrough, I don't just want to do the upper floor. I don't just want to look at a few things here and there and walk out. I want to do an unedited, complete walkthrough of the entire place, just so people can have the feel, so they don't have to walk in there themselves. And once walking in there, I mean, I haven't been in there since 07.
07?
Yep. And then just to have the whole place to yourself.
Okay, right.
Walking around. At that time, a lot of things were still up. The railings were still up. The place looked like it could be reopened at any minute. It was really clean.
Okay.
And that first moment just walking in there, it was brought back a lot of memories.
Okay.
And to this day, I kind of regret that first day walking through there, because all I was doing is I was borrowing a buddy's high 8 camera, a Sony Handycam high 8. So I was looking through the viewfinder more than anything, and I kind of regret that because I wanted to take it in.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this. Which door did you go in? Which door did you go in when you went?
That first day?
Yeah.
We went through the, it used to be back by loading dock 3 where they begun their demolition. Okay. And then you had Dillard's right here. Well, the security door was right there that a lot of people kept breaking into. Well,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Sachs Consulting ran the place, or they didn't run it. They were overseeing security there. Well, he allowed me in, and that's how I got in originally.
Okay.
And there was a couple other times I was able to go back in and finish up some more filming in there.
Okay.
With Sachs Consulting.
Okay. So basically, what we seen on the TV show Abandoned, that the state that the mall was in on the show, that was over a period of time.
Yep, over a period of time.
Okay.
That's when Viceland contacted me, because it was over a 5-year span from 2010 from that first video, which was the old Dillard's, which is when I put up that first video, because Sachs Consulting didn't want that video put up yet.
Okay.
So I had to wait quite a while before I could post that, and it was quite a period of time. And then Sachs Consulting was no longer involved with the mall, and so the guy Larry Janko Construction, who owns the Dillard's building, which is now Old Main Storage, he's the one who can get you in, and he has the actual keys and everything. So he was my next contact. Okay.
Now it's no longer standard, correct? Mm-hmm. It's not the building. Rolling Acres is no longer standard. Let's clear that up. Okay. All right. So it's no longer standard. Okay. So this was the guy that basically got you in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that's correct.
So
he had the key, and he had, because he was looking out for not only his business, but also in the other business, which at that time was Macy, the old Macy's building.
Okay.
And then the old Target building, that was starting to be turned into a private business as well.
Okay.
And so he was going in to look out for his place and the old Macy's building.
Okay.
Now at that point, Sears already shut down.
Okay.
So it's a vacant property, and he was concerned. So he actually had permission from the city to actually enter the place and walk it, make sure nothing's going on.
Okay.
So in the eyes of the city, he was the overseer at that point.
Okay. So I mean, were you ever uncomfortable doing working on this project from the standpoint of, you said you went into the mall by yourself before, right?
That's right.
How did you feel? Were you okay? Were you a little uncomfortable? I mean, how did you feel?
I felt comfortable. It was peaceful in there.
Okay.
I mean, you have this whole mall to yourself, and just being in there, it was quiet. is peaceful. You don't hear anything really.
It never like, you know, the mind is very powerful. You know what I mean? The mind can play tricks on you. Right? It never like crossed your mind. There could be like, you know, I have a wild imagination that there's this homeless guy in here who's
With
just like
a knife and savage attitude.
Yeah, a knife and a savage attitude. Well said. Yeah, that never crossed your mind. There was a homeless guy in there with a knife and a savage attitude.
It crossed my mind before I would walk out the door at my home.
Okay.
But at that point, I was packing, so it really didn't matter.
You was going, he was going anyway.
Problem.
Right. Yeah.
There was points in there you could tell there was somebody that spent a few nights in there. Like you'd see a blanket here and there and a makeshift pillow. But we've ran into homeless people at other investigations before, and they wouldn't bother you at all.
Okay.
But you know, there was in the back. I would keep it in the back of my mind. Like nobody's here.
Right.
I seen more cats.
A lot of
than
cats.
People. Yeah.
No possums, rats, and.
I seen raccoons.
Seen raccoons hanging out in there.
Yeah, but cats mainly.
So I mean, what was the craziest shit that you saying while you were in there? I mean, like, what would be the one that, you know, is going to stick in your head forever? Like, what was the craziest shit that you had saying?
Craziest thing I've ever seen. It really wasn't crazy. It was a bunch of kids got in there to ride their bikes and skateboard.
Okay.
But instead of doing that, they went ahead and actually cleaned up the place.
Okay.
What they did was they found all these old flyers and what are they? The flyers and stuff, advertisements.
The
They're all
ads,
scattered.
yeah,
The ads that were
yeah.
the posters and everything was scattered all over the building.
Okay.
They actually cleaned them up, took them, and they stacked them up at the fountain.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see it at this time. You could see it through the door because the door wasn't boarded off.
Okay.
And what they did was they stacked them up in a mural to Rolling Acres. Okay? And I got an email from YouTube from one of the kids that did it, and they said, "Hey, we watched your videos, and we decided to go in there just to mess around and bullshit and ride our bikes and skateboard. But then, after watching your videos, we decided, and being in there and seeing how tattered the place is, we decided to go ahead and do this and clean it up." And they sent me a picture of the shrine that they put up, and I said, and it was at that moment I thought, you know, it hit me like how deep something can affect somebody. Like they feel that feeling that they would have, just, you know, to instead of just go about their business, to go ahead, see the light of the place and actually do something nice and good for it.
Right.
So it wasn't crazy. It was just one that really sticks out in my mind.
Sticks out in your mind. Okay. All right. The ghosts. I mean, do you believe that there were? And the funny part about that is that I remember being in the mall, being in Rolling Acres, right before. Well, that was probably my last time. I think it was then in a couple of years before I, you know, based upon the time I was in there, opposed to when it was shut down. You know what I mean?
Too real. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, my bad. I remember calling it a ghost town. You know what I mean? I was like, this is like a ghost town. But the mall was still open at that point. You know what I mean? Everything was still, you know, striving to stay open. But I remember calling it a ghost town. And it seems like it did turn into a ghost town after the mall did shut down. I mean, you had encounters with ghosts. Or did you have those encounters one-on-one? Or was that off of the equipment that you guys were using?
To add to that, ghost town, because we did call it a ghost town as well, but the truth of the matter, the actual ghost, the spirit and paranormal activity, has actually gone on since the 80s. And we've conducted interviews with former security guards that worked there, especially at night. And after the place closed down at night. And the security guards said, there's something up with this place, and they believed it was haunted from the next door cemetery. And I was like, I asked them, I'm like, what makes you think it's haunted? what made you think at that point in time it was haunted? They said there was doors opening and closing. Some of the shutters would be rattling like somebody's trapped in one of the storefronts after they closed the shutters and just yanking on it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they would go over there to see what was going on.
Okay.
And the rattling would stop, but they would check it out. There's nobody in there, but and the first thing they see when they arrive at that storefront is that shutter gate still moving a little bit.
Okay.
But upon checking out, there's nothing there, and they said this happened their entire career there, and one person in particular was 10 years in, and he was convinced. Him and a lot of other people were convinced the place was haunted by the nearby cemetery. Now, once I went in there, I wasn't looking for anything paranormal. Yeah, I was part of a baby paranormal team that just formed. And upon review of some of the video of the walkthroughs that I did in there, the audio was gum smacking.
Okay.
There was a crowd of people talking, and then that music would start playing.
Okay.
And that's when we got the idea this place is probably haunted.
Okay.
And we checked it out. There was a lot in there.
Now hold on. I want you to hold off into that because that's kind of, kind of spooky. We're gonna get into that. You know what I mean? It's kind of spooky, but we're gonna get into that.
I believe that every place in America is haunted. Because all the murder and killing has been done in this land. I'm just saying. That's just me.
Yeah.
I do remember the last time I was in Rolling Acres. It was a ghost town.
Yeah.
So I'll agree
Literally.
completely with that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I saw the Viceland show, the episode. And my question, I would have to ask is, dude who invented malls was like, I hope they all burn to the ground or something like that. And that's not what his intention was, to destroy society as he did with malls. And then malls became destroyed. But isn't this like, if we're going a ghost way, isn't it like he cursed malls? Like, okay, they're all gonna die.
Well, see, that's what that's kind of like the point I wanted to get into. On the show, he talked about, Greg, you talked about that you believe, someone said that they believe it was people that had passed on and they came back to the mall as it being their glory days. Were you the one that said that?
Yeah, I was the one that said that.
Okay, so do you believe that that's what the case is, or do you believe those spirits are coming through the mall from the cemetery? Do you believe they were coming from over there? What do you think it was?
I think it's a combo of both.
Okay.
We did an investigation at the next door cemetery. I forget the name of it. And just being there at one of the mausoleums, you could look right over and see the J.C. Penney sign right there. So it was kind of like just out of the woods. So I believe, and we all believe, and came to the conclusion that the original activity came from the cemetery, some of it. And then over time, some of the things that occurred there, like the guy that fell off the escalator while he was messing with his Walkman in the early 90s.
I remember that. You remember that?
I do.
I remember that.
And then the kid that got trapped underneath the elevator.
That's like one of the last things that happened before the mall closed, right?
That was in the mid-90s.
Okay. Yeah, that's like 95, 96 maybe.
Yep.
I remember that.
And then there was a kid, this is later on in the 2000s. My buddy Matt told me this, because he worked at the Sears before they closed.
Okay.
And what happened was a guy went in there with a gun, and he started waving the gun around, took the place over, you know what I mean? And what he did is he locked himself in one of the back rooms in Sears.
Okay.
And refused to come out when the police ordered him to, and he blew his brains out.
In J.C. Penney's?
In Sears.
In Sears, okay. How long, when did that happen?
I want to say mid 2000s.
Really? I don't
Early
remember
2000s. Early to mid 2000s.
Okay. Well,
That's a vague one that hardly anybody would remember unless you worked there.
Okay. They kept that quiet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The biggest one was in 1986.
Right.
The Richard Cooley murders.
Okay.
Two girls were murdered on their way on the highway. Richard Cooley and two of his friends were tossing concrete over one of the bridges nearby over an overpass on the highway.
Okay.
And busted the windshield out on this Pontiac Fiero,
Okay.
and they went down to act like they were going to help him because they swerved off the road and crashed.
Oh, wow.
They ran down there acting like they were going to help him. And
Yeah.
what they did is they took him to that grassy area between Harlem and the mall's parking lot at Dillard's.
Okay.
And for 3 days, they tortured and raped him, and then before finally killing him.
Wow.
And what they did is they carved X's into their abdomens and heads and stuff while they were still alive. And they
X, you said they were the letter X?
yeah.
Now, I do know a little bit about the letter X. It means to eliminate or to... it means to eliminate, basically, from what I know about the X. What was his message behind the X? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Probably the same thing, to eliminate.
Yeah. Right.
And
Wow.
and these poor girls were murdered back there.
And that happened in 86.
1986, which that property is not even owned, was never even owned by anybody, not even the mall.
Right.
Now there were reports that he went to a payphone, and nobody's confirmed or denied it, but my assumption is he went to one of the payphones in the mall
Uh-huh.
and called one of the girl's parents.
Okay.
And said she was in an accident and taking care of her.
Okay.
And then the mother asked, well, where is my daughter? Where is she? And then he just hangs up the phone.
So wait a minute. He contacted this guy that killed Richard.
Richard Cooey.
Richard Cooey.
Mm-hmm.
He contacted the victims' mothers, both of their moms, or just one?
Just one.
Okay.
He contacted just the one girl's mom while they were still alive, and then talks to her casually, just like we mentioned, and then murdered him after hanging up that phone casually like that.
And,
no, I can't. Now, what I did dig up was that he did call from a payphone.
Okay.
I can't determine what payphone.
Yeah,
My
right.
assumption is, being that it's so close to the mall,
Uh-huh.
right there, basically, it had to have been in the mall.
And at that point in time, payphones were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's 86. Payphones were everywhere. You don't see them like that. They're not as prevalent as today as they were in 86, I'm sure. So, that's a very unfortunate situation. Now, you said that guy was executed, right?
He was executed Halloween of 2008.
Wow. That's a fucking movie, man. That's just a movie script, man. It's like all across the board. So you also mentioned that when you watch the videos of the work that you did, or the stuff you recorded, you would hear the elevator music in the mall playing.
I would hear the mall music and sometimes the piano.
Did you hear this when you were actually in the mall, or just?
Yeah, that's the question I want to ask.
Yeah.
Did you hear it with your ears too, or just on tape?
Just with the equipment.
Okay.
Now, with our ears, we would only hear, we heard doors slamming. That was a big one that we've heard. And it's distant. It was always distant. You hear, this door go, boom! And you get up there, and there's nobody there. Could have been somebody hanging out in there.
Slamming doors, huh?
Slamming doors. And then we've had things tossed at us.
By people that you saw, or just randomly from the sky?
This is our paranormal activity, right?
Just randomly.
Okay.
There's no...
You kept going back?
Mm-hmm. Because
Wow.
we would shoot short films and whatnot. We shot a couple zombie shorts there. We filmed a lot of stuff in there.
Okay.
A lot of different projects. And just, walking through casually, too.
And a lot of that work is on your YouTube page, or
Yep.
it is right now?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Tell them about a YouTube page.
It is GT Productions at YouTube. The way you find it is back in the day. Back in the day with YouTube, YouTube gave you a screen name based off your email address. So you have to type in G as in George, P as in Paul, T as in Tom, V as in Victor, the number 10. Just type that in the YouTube search. It'll come up. You'll see a black icon with GT Productions written in red on it.
Okay. That's cool. Did you guys ever spend a night in the mall?
We didn't spend an entire night. We've spent 4 hours in there.
Okay, that's the most time you've ever spent in there at one time?
Yeah, inside of it, other than when Viceland came. We were there for 8 hours during that.
Okay.
And we were there Halloween night of, I want to say 2011. We did a Halloween investigation, which
Okay.
is, that time it was, this place closed, it was, let's see, it was 3 years since the 3-year anniversary of the mall's closure in Halloween of 2008. Same year, same time Richard Cooey was finally put to death.
So you guys went to the mall the same day that he was killed?
No. That was in 2008. We weren't there until, as a group, for a couple more years. I wanted to go there. Like, everybody knew the place was going to close on Halloween night. I was stuck working at a haunted house, the haunted schoolhouse.
Oh, wow.
Biggest night of the year for those guys.
Yeah.
Well, I done retired from them, and they called me back. Hey, can you just come in for one more night?
Scare a couple kids for us, you
I
know.
was like, sure.
See if you can make somebody cry.
Did you ever have the opportunity to take a woman into the mall when you were doing your project? Because that just wasn't priority at that. Like, that wasn't. It never crossed your mind.
It crossed my mind that I wasn't gonna take anybody in there to rape them, though.
No.
Hilarious.
No.
Never let that be the first place you go, man.
No. I'm just saying.
We here at Hey Young World do not condone rape.
No.
Do not rape. It's no good.
No, I'm just saying, man. It never crossed your mind. I mean, obviously, man, you were pretty bold enough to keep going in there, regardless of the fact of having shit thrown at you. You don't know where the shit is coming from. You're hearing doors slam. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest. I probably would have never gone in there, but the fact that you had the balls to go in there, shout out to you, and that's the reason why you're here tonight, right? But it was just a question.
I would have went.
Huh?
I would have went. I wanted to go so bad. I just never did. I wanted to go. I wanted to go in there and film.
Well, he went so you didn't have to go.
Yeah, but I want to go. I would have
What?
took a sword also. Yeah, I said it. Because you can't shoot a ghost, and I don't know how swords work. I don't know. I think that would just. Never mind. Not important.
They'd
My
laugh at
beliefs
you.
on ghosts.
Yeah,
They laugh at a gun
yeah.
too, but that's not the point. It's a sense of adventure. Like the slamming doors and everything. I can understand how that would frighten me, but I can also understand, bless you,
Thank you.
that now I want to know. Oh, okay, you want to slam doors and run off? Oh, now I want to know if it's real or fake. I don't know if somebody playing a game that they think is funny, or is somebody maybe this all get my superpowers. I don't know.
Well,
Wow, that's hey, this guy right here. That's a hell of a way of breaking that down.
we
my
should have
man.
brought him along on investigation.
You should have, man. I wish I knew him when y'all did that shit. You should have brought him along, and then he could have came right back to Hey Young World and reported everything that he's saying, and we could have really made it just episode after episode, made a segment. I guess episode after episode. But long story short, you didn't get the opportunity, Johnny the Gent, to go in. There's nothing we can do about it now, and that
True, because it ain't there.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Greg, how do you feel when they actually tore it down? Do you feel like they should have just left it, or do you feel like they made the right decision?
I feel like they made the right decision, and a lot of
Okay.
people will disagree with me there. And it's like after that skylight came down and all that snow got in there and all that
Yeah,
rain, it
yeah.
just really rusted the place out, made it really unsafe. And
Okay.
even before that was down, okay, and the place was relatively sealed. Yeah, it had good bones, everything was sturdy, but there was at certain points when you'd walk in there, because you have the place to yourself. And I remember walking in there, and the first thing I could hear as I was walking up toward where the fountain used to be, okay, you got that big skylight right above
Right.
you,
Hey, I remember that.
is as I'm walking along the floor, that ceiling was creaking. Okay, so it's like, I don't know about this. And then after the place was being gutted and vandalized, I started thinking, okay, this isn't gonna last. And just over a period of time going in there, I seen more and more of it degrade. I went in there when the place was basically freshly closed, a couple years after it closed,
Okay.
and it looked amazing. It looked just like it did, like it was trapped in time.
Right.
Time just stopped, and it was a time capsule to an extent. There was some vandalism in there, but for the most part, it was sturdy and strong, and a lot of things were still up. And everything looked great. And I just watched it from that point, just degrade slowly. Kind of like if you watch The Walking Dead from season 1 all the way up to 9.
I don't watch The Walking Dead, but he's
I do. Yeah, I haven't seen the new season. Cause
like you've seen Atlanta from right when it happened, and then they go back and it's really degraded. That's the same exact scenario going on there. In my opinion, it needed to come down. It was dilapidated. It was become unsafe.
Okay.
And the more people that would tread in there, I legit felt like, okay, this is my mission now. I need to continue some different footage in there and get some better walkthrough with some better cameras, and I'll do this myself so they don't have to risk their lives. Like that night we did the Halloween investigation, my buddy Josh almost walked right over a banister because the railings were missing. He almost walked right over that.
Really?
Wow.
And if somebody was in there and didn't know the place's layout,
They could fuck themselves up.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that out just from seeing the clips that I've seen and seeing your work that you did. Yeah. It didn't look like somewhere you would just go to hang out. And I asked you the question, did you take a woman in there? Because, I mean, I thought it was a cool question to ask. But I wouldn't have taken a woman in there. Like I said,
You wouldn't have won yourself.
I wouldn't have took my ass in there. So not alone to take somebody in there with me. But shout out to the people that were bold enough to go in there. And thank you for going in there, because now we have this body of work that we can go check out of Rolling Acres Mall, even though it's not standing anymore. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't think you realize, maybe you do realize, but what you've done, you know what I mean? It means more. I would say it would mean more to people in the area than outside of the area, but I'm sure there are people that's outside of the area that's, you know, when they see it, they're like, yeah, right, because they're just into shit like that. But it really means a lot to me. I mean, I have memories in that mall, you know what I mean? I got my first pair of sneakers out of there. You know what I mean? I used to go down there in the food court and smoke Black and Mild. You know what I mean? I'm surprised I never got caught. Yeah, I mean, as many people as my family knew.
I used to play video games in that place.
Oh, shout out to Aladdin.
Aladdin's Castle.
Aladdin.
I still got a token from there.
Man, what was the store that had the koozie sweaters? Diamond Castle.
Yep.
Diamond Castle. I mean, the list goes on. What was the sneaker store in the basement? Athletic Attic?
Athletic Attic.
Yeah.
The attic was in the basement. You know what I mean? How dope was that?
So there was a pet store down there at one point?
Yep, there was.
Oh, shit. I remember that. You could pet the dogs.
Remember that sword place?
Yeah.
I do remember. The last time I went in there, I went in that sword place. Last time I ever went to Rolling Acres, I went with Kapag, the guy. Shout out to him. And I had a new camera, and it was about a necklace though. And I went there and I went into that sword store. I like swords and things of that nature. Plus, I knew somebody who was working there.
Yeah.
I know somebody who worked there, so I went in there, ran into some young ladies. So it's another story for another time. But yeah, that was the last time I went in that mall.
Yeah. And it wasn't the biggest mall, but it was more. It
had the biggest heart.
Yeah, man, you Aladdin Castle, your first pair of sneakers. You learn how to freak Black and Milds in the basement.
It had 2 floors. Used to buy beaties from down the basement from the one little store.
For those that don't know what beaties are, those are Indian cigarettes. Do they even sell beaties anymore?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, listen, I don't do cigarettes anymore.
Well, no, it was an Indian cigarette. It was rolled up in a leaf.
I wouldn't do that either.
I smoke a beatie just because.
Nope.
If I got my hands on a beatie, I smoke it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't make a habit of it now, but yeah, I smoke one just
I've been without the tobacco for a few years. I'm going to leave it that way.
Well, I mean, it was a big mall. It did have going in there, if you've been in there several times, it didn't seem big.
Yeah.
But looking back and if you looked at it from a satellite view, you'd see that the anchor stores are actually relatively small. The only big one was Target and Dillard's. That's it.
Okay.
But the rest of the footprint was massive.
Yeah, that's huge. They had more than one floor. The thing is, we grew up with it.
It
was huge when we were little, and we grew. And malls, it grew. It did grow a little, but it didn't grow. It didn't get huge. It didn't grow with us.
Yeah.
So we grew around it, and it seemed smaller to us because we grew up with it.
We got used to it.
Yeah.
No, that's a very good point.
It was actually 2 one-story, because that's a hill. The top floor sits on, and the lower section sits at the bottom of the hill. So the way they designed it, it's actually 2 one-stories that they just made.
Connection in the middle.
Yeah, that's all it really is.
I remember that.
The way it was designed as well is like if you remember walking in there, the way the ceiling was shaped and had those angles, the reason for that was down in the food court. They used to have a pianist, come in and play the piano.
Okay.
Well, they designed the Buckholzer designed the mall as an amphitheater to an extent. That way, all sounds can be exactly echoed throughout the place.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It is.
I actually have the blueprints, the original '73 blueprints.
You have it?
I have them.
What year was the mall built?
It was built in '75. It was completed in '75. It was started in '73.
How can I get a copy of that?
Yeah.
Well, to get copies, you can go down, like a lot of guys are doing and pawning off as authentic. You can go down to the city, and you can have duplicates made. Now, a lot of these were destroyed. I'll put it like this. Me and my buddy Matt, we were in the security office when me and him were last in there. And there was a desk. There was an imprint of a desk on the floor. Well, the desk was taken away, and these rolled up papers were just thrown in the corner haphazardly, and there was water leaking down, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of these had mold, and I'm like, what are these? Oh, an unraveled one said, "Holy shit!" Mm-hmm. These are the blueprints to the whole mall.
Okay.
There's blueprints for every little kiosk. Every little thing had its own little detailed blueprint. Like the fountain, for example, all that was a steel skeleton with PVC pipe coming up through the middle, and then a layer. Then it was clad in stainless steel. That's all it was, but it had blueprints.
Okay.
Every little thing had a blueprint. So we had 4 shopping carts full of
So you took them all then?
Took them all.
So what you're saying is you got a couple you could spare. Yeah.
Well, I
that's what it
salvaged.
sounds like.
I rescued them,
I
as I
understand
say.
completely.
But here's the
But
thing:
you've got a
most
surplus.
of them were molded over, really bad. I managed to save half a cart. That's how bad they were.
We'll talk.
I have the Higbees.
We'll have a conversation. It's going to be great.
Well, with you having such a close connection to the mall, at one point, do you know what they plan on doing with that space now that the mall is no longer standing? I mean, have you heard any rumors or anything that's going to happen next?
Rumors are involved all the time with that place, but
Okay.
I know at some point the Macy's building is going to come down.
A Macy's building?
It's going to come down.
Okay.
Actually, part of the mall actually still stands.
Okay.
The skeleton where the chandelier used to be in the tube, and then the escalators, and then the steps going up.
Okay.
That skeleton is still there, and the tile work is still on the floor.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's still there. They had to keep that section up because when they started cutting away at the mall, Macy's shifted, and the building owner complained about it. So they left that all up. Now, what they're going to do is, my opinion is, and what I've heard and what I believe is going to happen is, they're going to section it off. So they're going to put different businesses there, not connected. But eventually Macy's will come down. And so that part of the property.
So it sounds like there's a possibility it could turn into like a shopping plaza. Is that?
A new mall.
Yeah, that would be dumb. That would be dumb though.
You
You tore down that.
Acres too.
You know,
Other acres.
after talking with you guys about it, you know what I mean. Y'all helped me realize, well, shit, we lost the biggest mall we had in the city.
True fact. True story.
Yeah, I started thinking about it, and you know, you broke down the architecture, and then you said basically we outgrew the mall. We got used to it, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did lose the biggest mall we had.
Yeah,
when
we
think
did.
about it.
Well, here's the thing. And you mentioned earlier, if you grew up around here, you knew about the mall. I'll put it like this. I sent a tile from the fountain, because I have several. If you guys want one.
I do. Oh, I'm glad
I've
you
given
asked
away
that.
so much Rowan Acre shit. But here's the thing. People are hawking these things off for I've seen them go as high as $200. People just selling them. And I think that's wrong. You're selling back the memories that people have of the place. That is wrong.
Okay.
I didn't do, like you said earlier, I started all this by, and I inspired. You know what I mean? And
What?
gave all this, but it's like, then I got inspired because other people started picking up where I kind of lagged and left off and added more filler, which I appreciate.
What?
But it's like when you start selling back memories, I don't like that. Like, There was one girl. She was supposed to get something. She lived all the way out in Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
and she was because there's a page on Facebook, Rolling Acres Memories, and this girl she's deaf, you know.
Okay.
And she's deaf mute, so
Yeah.
I already felt bad for her.
Right.
And some dude was supposed to send her some stuff there, never did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Did she
all
pay
right.
for it?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
Okay.
But what I did was I was like, okay, I'll send you a tile. How about that?
Okay. All right.
So I went into my storage unit, grabbed a tile, autographed it for her, and I sent that all the way out to Washington State. There's people out in Australia has gotten memorabilia from Rolling Acres. They've paid for it.
But why? What does it mean to them?
Them, I don't know. Now, the
Okay.
girl, I think she had family here.
Okay.
So you'll find people with family that are all over
Right.
that moved, and they want this and they want that.
Right.
But then you'll have other people that just want something because they want it. Because
Just want to be
they
a
see
part
it.
of something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to hop on and say, "Oh, I want a piece. That was on
Yeah.
TV."
It's
like,
on Viceland. Right.
Ah.
Right. That because
Hilarious.
Viceland is all across the world, from what I understand.
It
They
is.
yeah, you can see that everywhere. And for the people in Akron that don't know what Viceland is, and people across the world know what Viceland is, you need to catch up.
Listen,
But
I'm not that kind of guy,
it's
but
a whole
I
new
will
way of
say-
TV.
from Viceland, I do kind of want to do ayahuasca.
Yeah. Shout out to Viceland.
oh yeah, big shout out. The
Yeah.
crew,
Yeah.
amazing crew.
Right. Shout out.
Amazing crew.
Definitely. Hopefully they hear this with the music in the background. But hey, if Chapel Hill goes under, I don't know if you know, but Chapel Hill could possibly go under, just like Rolling Acres did. If that goes under, would you go? Would you take the time to go into Chapel Hill?
Well, oddly enough, Chapel Hill is the sister mall to Rolling Acres. It was
Oh.
it was a Buckholzer mall built in the '60s.
Okay. So
And
they were built before Rolling Acres.
It was built before Rolling Acres, but it was built by the same company,
Okay.
Forest City Enterprises,
Okay.
and Buckholzer himself
Okay.
designed Chapel
Malls.
Hill, and then his biggest project, he wanted to build a 2-story, and he wanted a big mall, and he designed Rolling Acres, and he had Rolling Acres built. So it's oddly enough, the most popular mall of the two sisters went down first. But as for going back to Chapel Hill, I've done a little bit of filming in there already,
Okay.
but I've left it for the two other girls that I know that are doing projects of their own there.
Okay.
And in the urban exploration world, there's a respect that you don't cross. Some have crossed it,
Right.
and they cross it and cause problems.
Okay.
Whereas the majority of us, we're like, hey, we give respect.
Okay.
So like the two girls that I know that are primed for Chapel Hill,
Mhm.
they asked me, hey, you gonna do any filming here? I'm like, no, I'm leaving that. You already committed. This is your project. You've gotten kicked out with a camp because you had a camera. This is your project. I'm not gonna tread on it. That's
Listen,
not my
I
business.
want to be a part of this world. I want in. I want in.
You want in? It's
I
not
want
hard.
in. It's listen. I don't know these girls. Just met you, and I still find it hard to believe you can just call somebody and be like, "Let me in the mall. I just want to take some pictures and film some stuff," and they were like, "Okay." I just don't see that happening for me. But you know, I don't know. I've never tried. I never knew you could just call somebody and be like, "Let me in the mall." I know it's been closed for 5 years. I want in, and they were like, "Okay, I got the keys. Let's go." Okay, what? I didn't know that was a thing you could do. I thought you had to break in. I thought you had to know how to jimmy a lock and blah blah. I gotta get in here.
Or just kick it open.
Yeah, either way.
No,
Bring a hammer.
it didn't. It wasn't right off the bat that I got in. It took 6 months and $100 to get in originally.
6 months and $100. Huh?
Yeah, 100
Grease
bucks.
and
But shit, it
palms.
was all worth it, right?
It was worth it.
Yeah, it's
It got
definitely
me
worth it.
unlimited access, and then I met Larry Janko, and he's like, "Yo, anytime you want in there, just let me know. I'll let you
Okay.
in."
Shout out to Larry Jenko.
Mm-hmm.
LJ.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to. Hey man, let the people know how they can reach you. You know what I mean? If they want to talk to you, interview you, or you kind of got like a Ghostbusters thing going on. I don't know if you're getting more into the paranormal activity or not, but I'm sure if the price is right, you will get into it, right?
That's not really a price.
Okay.
If you want some paranormal work done,
Yes.
we don't charge anybody a dime.
Oh, you don't?
Hell no. Never
Okay.
have, never
You
will.
scared the shit out of him for free.
Oh yeah.
Come through. I come through and scare the shit out of you. All right, man. Let the people know how to get at you, though, man.
You can find me on Facebook. Greg. You look for Greg Torre, Torre Jr.
Okay. All right.
And you'll see my page and a whole bunch of bullshit I post on there.
All right.
You can contact me through that. You can also search Scientific Paranormal.
Okay.
It has a Facebook as well. I haven't
Okay.
done much with it lately.
Okay.
GT Productions has a Facebook as well. If you watch one of my latest videos on YouTube, the last one being, we did. What did we do? I'm drawing a blank. Okay, the last video we did, I started putting these little intros at the beginning, which are skits, for the ghost bat, call da 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 right now. Well, there's a phone number on there. It goes to my Google Voice.
Okay.
Nobody has called it.
Okay.
So you can watch that video. Look for my latest 2 videos posted up, which is Romig Road Corridor.
Okay.
Okay, which was a horror film I was shooting there.
All right. Did it come out? So it's on. It's available.
Yeah, it's on there.
YouTube?
It was never finished.
Okay.
But I put up what I could.
I think I remember you talking about that on the show.
Yeah.
I think you were in the movie theater or something, and you said something about you used some clips or something for a scary movie that you have filmed in there or something.
A murderer that lived in there.
In the movie?
In the movie, there's a serial killer that lives in the mall.
Oh, wow. See, that's that shit I'm talking about. And obviously, it did cross your mind that was a possibility. And what is it? A man with a knife with a savage attitude is what you said earlier, Johnny the Jet. So it did cross your mind because it made a movie about it.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, it was the whole legend. There's a murderer in there, so I'm like, okay, I want to film something like that.
Okay.
And so, I got together I put together a script. I got a cast, which was a local band, Redwater Tragedy, and they were the cast. Over time, they kind of, like, I don't want to do it anymore, da 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 da.
Okay.
That whole life gets in the way thing, and cast members started dropping off. It's like the project was scrubbed. We destroyed 2 vehicles. One of them was donated by Miller's Towing.
Okay.
Shout out to Junior over there.
Okay.
There's a lot of gory stuff in there. I
Okay.
mean, it's just clips.
What's the name of it again?
Romig Road Corridor.
Really? So is this like the House of 1,000 Corpses or something? Is it got that kind of feel to it?
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Jason meets House of 1,000 Corpses.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I like scary movies, so I'm in those sort of kind of flicks. So I definitely check that out, man.
But you can contact me on that number if you watch the intro video.
Say that number again.
The number.
You don't know that. Okay, if you don't know the number.
It was my Google Voice. It was my Google Voice number.
Okay. All right.
You can, if you look at my video, you'll see the Ghost Bat infomercial, and you'll see the Ghost Nunchucks infomercial.
Okay.
And the number will flash across the screen, stays on the screen. You can call me. You can call that number. You'll reach right to me.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, we made these little skits and spoofs of infomercials for ghost paraphernalia, and that, yeah, we made little jokes right there.
Yeah.
But that's joking on companies that make these goofy products and then sell them for $300, and people buy them and then find out they're garbage. But we take the paranormal stuff very seriously.
Okay.
So all these little graphics and CGI put into these little side project films and gory stuff and this, that, and the other never graces a paranormal investigation video. We never do anything to those graphically.
Okay.
We give respect to what is there and the homeowners especially.
Okay. Alright. That's cool. What's your favorite Ghostbusters?
My favorite Ghostbusters?
Yeah. Was it 1 or 2, or was it the new one that they did with the females?
I haven't seen that one yet.
I like the original too.
Huh?
I like the original too.
The original 2, 1 or 2. You gotta pick one. Which one
pick
Which one inspired you to be the guy that you are today? I mean, you had to have been inspired by Ghostbusters at some level.
I would say the Ecto one, the car.
The who?
The car.
The car?
Yeah, the Ghostbusters car.
Oh no, I'm saying which movie? So you couldn't pick one. It's both of them.
Okay, I mean, being that it was first, I say 1.
1? Okay.
Yeah, just go down the line.
Yeah.
I'd say 1 was my favorite one of the 2.
I like 2.
I like them both. I feel I like them both. Listen, I'm the keymaster.
Bobby Brown was in the second
Bobby
one.
Brown was in the second one.
He's
And
the
then
doorman.
talking to Vigo, little dude, I don't know his name. The guy in charge of the museum was one of the funniest people. When he having that conversation with that painting and Bill Murray walk in and catch that. Some of the funniest shit I know.
He looks
about.
like the dude you're talking about looks like the dude from Flock of Seagulls.
Yeah, I said it. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, but look, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate you coming out, man.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. For the people that don't know, who this man is, his name once again is Greg Torre. He has done a TV show on Viceland. For you guys that don't know what Viceland is, please find out what Viceland is. It's the future of television, in my opinion. But the show is called Abandoned, Ghost Moth, and his segment is on Rolling Acres.
That's right.
All right, man. Hey, thank you for coming.
Hey, you guys ever want to do any more shows about the paranormal, just let me know.
Listen, we're going to talk regardless because I got questions. I want a piece of this tile. So many things. Blueprint talk.
Absolutely. So we're going to definitely keep in contact with you. We're going to get this to Viceland, man. We're going to make this go as far as we can possibly go. We got our own soundtrack in the background, as you can hear. You know what I mean? Hey, man, we got the music. We got it all. So, yeah, this is Hey Young World. Peace.
Peace. There's so much I wanted to say, but